There's nothing less samurai-like than disorganization, chaos, and living without direction. The samurai knew that true strength comes from structure. They embraced routines, codes, and unwavering focus. They believed that a warrior's mind must be calm and ordered, just like a well-maintained sword. Miyamoto Musashi once wrote about living with purpose and consistency. He saw life without design as a wasted blade. Today, we'll explore the daily habits, lifestyle practices, and structures set forth by samurai philosophers so you can bring clarity to your own life. When practiced consistently, these timeless methods will help you sharpen your focus, accomplish your goals, and face each day with quiet confidence. Day 1. Start with a clear code. Bushido. Gohan stands in the middle of a bustling train station. The noise is overwhelming. Announcements echo from speakers, footsteps rush past, and conversations buzz around him. He's clutching his phone, staring at 3 different apps open at once. One shows a list of job openings. Another displays fitness programs he's considering. The third, a reminder to sign up for a class he bookmarked weeks ago. His thumb hovers over the screen, unsure what to do next. He steps aside to avoid the flow of commuters, his heart racing. I don't even know where to begin, he thinks. The pressure builds as if every decision is life or death. He wants to act, but the choices paralyze him. Suddenly, he recalls a passage from Hagakure. The way of the warrior is to be found in death. Gohan pauses. He doesn't fully understand it, but the words stick with him. He remembers reading about Bushido, the code of the samurai. They didn't waste time second-guessing themselves. Their loyalty, honor, and respect guided every decision. The clarity gave them courage, because they knew who they were and what they stood for. Looking around at the chaos of the station, Gohan realizes he lacks that clarity. What do I even stand for? He asks himself. How can I make the right choices when I don't even know my values? He steps into a quiet corner and pulls out his notebook. For the first time, he writes down what matters most to him. Discipline. Stick to what you start. Honor. Always act with integrity. Focus. Eliminate distractions and finish strong. The words feel solid, clear. He underlines them and snaps a photo to save as his phone background. Now, whenever he's unsure, he can ask, does this align with my code? It's not a fix for everything, but it's a starting point. The station noise doesn't feel as overwhelming anymore. He takes a deep breath. All right, he says quietly. Now I know my path. As Gohan moves forward, he realizes that clarity isn't enough on its own. He needs to take small, consistent actions to truly live by his code. This is just the first step, but for now he feels ready to face the world with purpose. Day 2. Master the small moves. In the Book of 5 Rings, Miyamoto Musashi writes, do nothing that is of no use. At first, this might seem simple, but for the samurai it was a profound rule for living. Every action had to serve a purpose, whether sharpening their blade, perfecting a stance, or preparing their mind for the next duel. They didn't rush into mastering everything. They focused on what mattered most in the moment. Musashi understood that progress is built on deliberate repetition. A samurai didn't learn 1,000 techniques at once. They practiced one strike over and over until it felt like second nature. Then, and only then, did they move to the next. Take another teaching from Musashi. Step by step walk the 1,000-mile road. This wasn't just about swordsmanship. It was a principle for life. Instead of being overwhelmed by the mountain ahead, focus on the single step before you. That was how Musashi defeated countless opponents, not by rushing, but by mastering the fundamentals. Gohan, like many of us, often skipped this mindset. He wanted to excel in everything at once, but the more he tried to juggle, the more he dropped. The samurai didn't operate this way. They believed in a slow, methodical approach. Their dojos were designed for repetition, a simple floor, a practiced sword, and hours spent perfecting one move. Samurai culture teaches us that simplicity is power. The less you divide your attention, the stronger your focus becomes. This principle applies to every part of life, from work to relationships to personal growth. Instead of filling your mind with endless tasks, Ask yourself, what is the one strike I need to perfect today? Musashi's methods weren't just for the battlefield. They were for mastering the art of life. His wisdom reminds us that true progress isn't about doing more. It's about doing less, but doing it with precision. Day 3. Practice Zanshin. After a duel, a samurai didn't lower their guard. Even after delivering the final blow, they remained focused, ready for the next challenge. This state of awareness, called Zanshin, teaches us to stay present, not just during the task, but after it's done. Imagine a warrior stepping away from a duel. The fight is over, but their posture remains steady, their mind alert. A sudden move, an unseen threat. They're prepared. Zanshin is not about paranoia. It's about carrying awareness forward. Musashi wrote, "In strategy, it is important to see distant things as if they were close and to take a distanced view of close things." This perspective allowed samurai to act decisively in the moment while maintaining a vision for what came next. They celebrated no single victory too long. They didn't relax after one success. Instead, they saw each win as part of a larger journey. Gohan experiences a moment of success. He finishes a project he'd been procrastinating on for weeks. He feels a rush of pride and relief. For a while, he basks in the victory, treating it as if the work is over. But days later, he finds himself backsliding into old habits, procrastination, endless scrolling, ignoring his goals. He sits down and wonders, why does this keep happening? Why do I lose focus after every little win? His mentor's words echo in his mind. The greatest threat comes after the greatest victory. The samurai knew this. Warriors stayed in the flow of Zanshin. They didn't just think about the present moment, they prepared for the next one. Gohan realizes he needs to carry that same mindset forward. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. The concept of lingering awareness isn't unique to samurai. In Zen Buddhism, practitioners are taught mindfulness, staying present during and after their actions. The Hagakure compares this state to the stillness of water after being stirred. A man must be like water, steady after motion, yet ready to flow again. Even the Stoics held a similar belief. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not let your mind be sidetracked by what has already happened or what may yet come. Stay focused on what is before you." Both traditions emphasize the power of staying steady and aware, no matter the circumstances. Zanshin isn't just for warriors, it's for anyone trying to maintain progress. After completing a goal, don't rest too long. Reflect briefly. What went well? What can I improve? Then, set your sights on the next step. Ask yourself, what's my next challenge? How can I stay focused after this success? The samurai didn't stop sharpening their swords after one duel, they prepared for the next. Zanshin teaches us that life is a series of continuous battles, and the way to stay ahead is to stay present, not just during the fight, but after it's done. Day 4. Cultivate Mushin. Imagine a samurai in the heat of battle. The clash of swords rings out, but their face remains calm. Their movements are fluid, unhesitating, almost instinctive. This state is called Mushin, or no mind. It's the art of acting without overthinking, without letting doubts or distractions slow you down. Musashi captured this idea when he wrote, "Fixation is the way to death, fluidity is the way to life." For the samurai, hesitation could mean defeat. Mushin wasn't about shutting down the mind, it was about clearing it. It allowed them to act freely, unhindered by fear or second-guessing. One evening, Gohan sits down to write a script for his new YouTube channel. The ideas flow at first, but then come the doubts. Is this good enough? Will people even watch this? What if I'm wasting my time? The more he thinks, the harder it becomes to write. Frustrated, he closes his laptop and walks away. Later, he remembers something he read about Mushin. He realizes his overthinking is the problem. Samurai didn't pause mid-swing to wonder if their form was perfect. They trusted their training and let their actions flow. Gohan decides to try the same approach. He sits down again, takes a deep breath, and starts writing without judgment. The words come easier this time. The idea of Mushin isn't limited to samurai. In Zen Buddhism, it's taught that a cluttered mind blocks clarity. Empty your cup, they say, so it may be filled. Similarly, Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, Don't let the noise of your thoughts drown out what needs to be done. Both traditions echo the same truth. Overthinking kills action. You can practice Mushin in small ways. Take 5 minutes daily for silent reflection. Breathe deeply. Let your thoughts come and go like leaves floating down a stream. When you return to your work, you'll feel lighter, clearer, and more focused. The samurai believed that a clear mind led to precise actions. Mushin allows you to focus on the task, not the doubts. Like a blade cutting through water, you move freely without resistance. Day 5. Reflect daily, aim for growth. Miyamoto Musashi, near the end of his life, composed the Dokodo, or the Path of Aloneness. In it, he listed principles that guided him when there was no one else to rely on. One line reads, "Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world." This isn't about ignoring your own needs. It's about staying humble and open to learning. Musashi knew that even the greatest swordsman can grow stronger. A warrior's mind, he believed, should never be sealed off. Each night, Gohan pulls out a simple notebook. He writes down 3 things he learned that day. Sometimes it's a small victory. I figured out a better editing shortcut. Other times it's a lesson from failure. I tried to multitask and ended up doing nothing well. No judgment, no shame, just honest reflection. The act itself feels calming. He notices patterns, sees progress, and faces mistakes with clarity. Over time, these small notes become a map of his journey. He flips back and sees how far he's come. It boosts his spirit, reminding him that each stumble is part of growth. Samurai often recorded their thoughts in poetry or concise maxims. In Hagakure, it's said that a warrior should reflect on death each morning, not to be morbid, but to value life's fragility. That reflection fostered gratitude and kept their priorities clear. They believed in constant improvement, even if just by a fraction each day. In the same vein, Musashi's Dokodo teaches self-reliance and continuous learning. He believed we should own our path. No excuses, no blaming others. Self-reflection was the key. By looking inward each day, a samurai could sharpen both sword and soul. By following these samurai-inspired practices, your own Bushido, you clear away chaos and build a life of focus and growth. Take a breath. Look back on what you've learned, then step forward with new strength. If you found this journey helpful, subscribe to the channel for more insights on discipline, wisdom, and personal transformation. Also, be sure to check out my other videos. Each one offers another blade of knowledge to sharpen your life.